Explore a stunning country renowned for its breathtakingly beautiful women, where men are imported to help sustain the population and keep the balance of life flourishing. Imagine a place where legends come to life, where the landscape stretches endlessly, and where traditions and customs are so different that they make you pause and reflect. Welcome to Mongolia, a country filled with stunning natural beauty, fascinating history, and a culture that's both inspiring and thought-provoking. But beneath the surface, there are surprising and sometimes unsettling truths that paint a complex picture of life in this unique land. Let's explore some of the most intriguing aspects of Mongolia's culture and society. But wait, before we dive fully into this, take 2 seconds and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on our future amazing content. And hit the like button. Life in Malaysia and Mongy, East Asian most exotic with provocative beautiful women country. 1. The mystery of Mongolia's beautiful yet lonely women. In the wide open spaces of Mongolia, a curious paradox exists. Many of the country's beautiful, talented, and independent women struggle to find love. As women have become more empowered, focusing on education, careers, and personal freedom, the search for a partner has grown more difficult. Strong and confident, these women often intimidate men who feel they can't meet their expectations. Mongolia also faces a gender imbalance, with significantly more women than men, especially in big cities. Despite societal pressures to marry early, many women are left feeling frustrated as they try to juggle their personal dreams and the expectations of family life. The future of love in Mongolia is uncertain, but these women are forging new paths, pursuing both independence and happiness. 2. Mongolian hospitality. Warming traditions. Mongolia is famous for its hospitality, especially among nomadic families. When you visit, expect to be welcomed with open arms, warm tea, and fascinating stories. But one tradition may surprise you. In the cold winter months, hosts sometimes offer their daughters to warm up male guests. This gesture is rooted in trust and hospitality, though it can cause misunderstandings in the modern world. Seen in its cultural context, this practice reflects the close-knit nature of nomadic life, where shared spaces are common and generosity is deeply valued. What do you think? Does this tradition feel like a genuine act of hospitality, or does it raise ethical questions? 3. The mystery of Mongolia's beautiful yet lonely women. In the vast, windswept plains of Mongolia, where the horizon stretches endlessly, an intriguing contradiction unfolds. Mongolia's women, celebrated for their beauty, strength, and independence, are finding it harder to navigate the complexities of love. These women are no longer confined by traditional roles. They've embraced modern education, pursued careers, and carved out personal freedoms. Yet, as they rise, their chances of finding a romantic partner seem to dwindle. Men, in many cases, find their confidence shaken, feeling overshadowed by the high expectations these women carry. This dilemma is compounded by Mongolia's demographic tilt. There are far more women than men, particularly in the bustling cities of Ulaanbaatar and Darkhan. The struggle to balance personal aspirations with deep-rooted cultural norms, which pressure women to marry young, leads to a kind of social tug-of-war. The situation raises fascinating questions about gender dynamics in a country where tradition and modernity collide, and whether these women, often seen as beacons of independence, will redefine what love looks like in Mongolia's future. 4. Mongolian hospitality. Warming traditions. Imagine trekking across the cold, barren steppes of Mongolia, wearied from the journey, only to be greeted with the warmest of welcomes. The nomadic people of Mongolia are renowned for their generous hospitality, opening their homes to strangers with offers of food, shelter, and the ever-present bowl of warm tea. But this hospitality extends beyond the usual gestures. During the harsh winter months, some nomadic families may offer a male guest the company of their daughter to help keep him warm. It's an ancient custom, deeply rooted in trust and respect, yet it can be perplexing, even controversial, to outsiders. In the context of nomadic life, This tradition reflects the importance of survival and close bonds in isolated, rugged environments. Shared spaces and warmth are seen as vital in a community that lives on the edge of nature's extremes. However, the modern world casts a different light on this age-old custom. Is this act a symbol of selfless hospitality, or does it stir ethical concerns about the role of women in these practices? As Mongolia rapidly modernizes, such traditions face a crossroads, where ancient customs and contemporary values meet, and sometimes clash. 5. Importing men. A fix for Mongolia's gender imbalance. Mongolia's stark gender imbalance, with far more women than men, is causing a national dilemma that seems straight out of a futuristic novel. The roots of the issue run deep. Harsh living conditions have historically led to higher male mortality, and a cultural preference for sons has ironically worsened the situation. Women, empowered and thriving, find themselves outnumbered and grappling with a shrinking pool of potential partners. In response, there's been talk of a startling solution: importing men from other countries to address the imbalance. While this approach might seem like a quick fix, it raises profound questions. Could bringing in foreign men truly solve the issue of love and partnership in Mongolia, or would it simply mask deeper social and cultural problems? More than just a matter of numbers, this imbalance reflects a shifting landscape in gender roles, cultural traditions, and what it means to form a family in modern Mongolia. If the government goes through with such plans, what ripple effects would it have on national identity, relationships, and the country's future? The idea may seem bold, but it hints at the growing desperation in Mongolia's complex gender equation, begging for a more sustainable long-term solution. 6. Mongolia's hidden struggle. Violence against women. Behind Mongolia's sweeping steppes, nomadic herders, and fascinating traditions, a deeply troubling reality persists. Violence against women is alarmingly widespread. Shockingly, a third of Mongolian women have experienced some form of abuse, placing Mongolia among the nations with the highest rates of violence against women. But why is this happening in a country so rich in cultural history? The roots of this crisis run deep. Cultural norms in some Mongolian communities still uphold traditional beliefs that undervalue women, limiting their roles to caretakers and leaving them vulnerable. Alcohol abuse is another significant factor, as heavy drinking often accompanies domestic violence. To make matters worse, the legal system in Mongolia is often ineffective in protecting women, with many cases going unreported or unresolved due to fear, shame, or a lack of proper enforcement. But the impact of this issue is not isolated to the individual. It cripples entire communities. Women unable to participate fully in society because of violence and trauma mean less economic progress, fewer educated children, and diminished national growth. The need for reform is clear, yet achieving lasting change requires addressing centuries-old beliefs, enhancing legal protections, and creating safe spaces for women to heal and reclaim their rights. 7. Eating with your hands. A Mongolian tradition. In Mongolia, eating with your hands isn't just a quirky custom. It's an ancient tradition steeped in symbolism and respect. Imagine sitting around a fire with family and friends, your hands reaching for a piece of freshly grilled meat, feeling the warmth of the food and the connection it brings. For Mongolians, each finger represents an element: earth, fire, water, air, and space. And by using your hands to eat, you're honoring not only the food itself, but also the cook who prepared it, the ingredients that came from the land, and the sacred connection between humans and nature. Eating with your hands offers a tactile experience that utensils simply can't replicate. Whether it's biting into a juicy piece of lamb or dunking a traditional dumpling into a tangy bowl of fermented milk, the act is intimate, personal, and deeply meaningful. This practice bridges the gap between humans and the natural world, creating a sense of unity and gratitude for the Earth's offerings. For Mongolians, food is not just about survival. It's about community, culture, and a profound connection to the land. Next time you find yourself dining in Mongolia, Don't be surprised if you're encouraged to ditch the fork and knife. You're invited to engage in an age-old practice that speaks to the heart of Mongolian heritage. 8. Bizarre dishes. The goat you might be too afraid to eat. Mongolia's cuisine can be as wild and untamed as its landscapes, and few dishes capture this spirit better than the traditional booze. But this isn't your average dish. Prepare yourself for something both adventurous and primal. The booze involves an entire goat, seasoned with hot stones and spices, with its inside slow-cooked to perfection. This technique, which utilizes the animal's body as an oven, isn't just about cooking. It's about showcasing strength and courage, qualities that are revered in Mongolian culture. For Mongolians, eating booze is a symbol of resilience, survival, and an embrace of the harsh realities of life on the steppe. The meat absorbs the heat and minerals from the stones, creating a dish that's not only delicious but imbued with an earthy warmth. It's a far cry from your typical barbecue, but for the brave and curious, it offers a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The richness of the goat meat, paired with the heat from the stones, creates a flavor that is both bold and comforting, a dish that dares you to step out of your comfort zone and experience Mongolian culture in its rawest form. So, are you bold enough to take a bite of this extraordinary dish, knowing it represents more than just food, but the very spirit of Mongolia itself? 9. A country where animals outnumber people. Imagine a land so vast and untamed that animals outnumber people by a staggering margin. In Mongolia, for every person, there are around 13 horses roaming freely across the steppes. Horses here aren't just animals. They're symbols of freedom, endurance, and tradition, embodying the very spirit of Mongolian life. But that's not all. Sheep, goats, and cattle make up an even larger portion of the population, creating a surreal scene where humans are vastly outnumbered by their four-legged companions. Mongolia's nomadic herders live in perfect harmony with these animals, moving with the changing seasons across endless plains, deserts, and mountains. Farming in the traditional sense is almost impossible in this rugged landscape, but for thousands of years, Mongolians have thrived by adapting to the land's unforgiving nature. The animals sustain them, providing everything from food to transportation to income. Yet this ancient way of life faces a modern threat. Overgrazing and environmental degradation are creeping in, pushing the balance between nature and nomads to a breaking point. The fate of this unique lifestyle hangs in the balance as the future of Mongolia's fragile ecosystem remains uncertain. 10. Wrestling. More than just a sport. Wrestling in Mongolia is not just a sport. It's an ancient art form, a ritualistic display of strength, honor, and sheer willpower. It dates back to the time of Genghis Khan, where it was used to toughen warriors and prepare them for the brutal challenges of war. Today, this tradition lives on, with men of all ages, from young boys to elders, locking arms in fierce competition during national festivals. It's not merely about winning. Each match is a testament to the deep-rooted values of resilience and endurance that define the Mongolian spirit. When a wrestler steps into the ring, he's not just fighting an opponent. He's honoring centuries of history, culture, and the very essence of masculinity in Mongolia. The matches unfold on open fields, under vast skies, with crowds cheering as these modern-day warriors battle it out. Victory is achieved not by pins or points, but by forcing your opponent to touch the ground with anything other than his feet, a demonstration of both strength and strategic brilliance. For spectators, it's a thrilling experience that transcends the physical act, serving as a living reminder of Mongolia's proud past and unshakable determination to preserve their cultural heritage. 11. The legend of the Mongolian deathworm. In the heart of the Gobi Desert, where the landscape is as unforgiving as it is mystical, tales of the Mongolian deathworm have sent chills down the spines of locals for generations. This fearsome creature, described as a blood-red worm, is said to be anywhere from 2 to 5 feet long, lurking beneath the desert sands, waiting to strike. Its touch, according to legend, is fatal. Some say it can kill with a single touch, while others claim it sprays a deadly venom or even emits electric shocks capable of paralyzing its victims instantly. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, expeditions in search of the Mongolian deathworm have been launched by thrill seekers and scientists alike, driven by curiosity and the promise of solving one of the world's most enduring cryptid mysteries. But the desert keeps its secrets well. The legend continues to thrive, weaving itself into the fabric of Mongolian folklore, where the line between myth and reality blurs. Whether it's real or a product of the human imagination, the Mongolian deathworm adds an eerie layer to the already mysterious Gobi Desert, drawing adventurers to confront their deepest fears in one of the most remote and enigmatic places on Earth. Let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to stay updated on global travel trends. Safe travels. See you in the next one.